Hello and welcome to day 2 of our sweet treat taste tests from Coady's Kitchen with me, Daniel. Unlike yesterday's video, which you can find in the eye above, where we tried some assorted snacks of interest, today is a bit more of a brand comparison. We're putting up one of the established brands of the sweet treats variety up against Aldi, who of course have been famed for a number of slightly different but very similar rip-offs over recent years. So I'm going to be trying that with now my favourite chocolate, and I'm going to be interested to see how we get on with this. I'm going to give one of each a go. I'm going to tell you honestly if I think there's much of a difference. We'll compare all the other stuff and stats along the way too. So if you're looking forward to that, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on for more to come from Coady's Kitchen. And of course, before we go and get into it, as I said yesterday, apologies in advance for any cravings you may get. I know it's January. I know you're all trying to be healthy, but I've got some Christmas snacks to get through. In the meantime, to make up for it though, next to my head, as you can see, HelloFresh have kindly partnered with all of my channels across all platforms. So until the end of January, you can get a big discount and help support this channel. And hopefully that will keep your health kit going. There's nothing wrong with the odd sweet treat though. I'm managing to have all of these in one day and still stay within my calorie goal. So don't get too disheartened. Try HelloFresh if you haven't already. But let's go and get into the main crux of this video. Off we go with the banner, and in we go with my favourite chocolate, and a lot of people I think from my sort of generation. The Ferrero Rocher Brigade is here. I adore these. I eat far too many of them every single winter, and I end up putting on a lot of weight as a result. So they are something that I am a big fan of. Now what's happened interestingly is my other half at Christmas decided, well, if you like Ferrero Rocher, I'm going to buy you these to try. Because if you like them as much, it'll be a lot cheaper in future years. These are Aldi Nocciola milk chocolates with a hazelnut praline filling, wafer and a whole hazelnut. Let's be honest, if you look at the picture in the middle close up, it's definitely trying to be a Ferrero, but they've put a couple of sort of white chocolate lines on the outside just to make it look a little different, which fair enough, that's what Aldi do. The one thing I did find interesting though, and a few big thumbs up for Aldi here, firstly, 100% recyclable, which you don't get with these packaging. You have to send off or apply for a certain specialist packaging for that. But here you can recycle the box and tray and the wraps for the chocolate. The other thing of interest as well though, is that these are very slightly healthier, and I probably shouldn't brand it that way. I should probably say they're slightly less unhealthy. There's the little tiny Aldi logo at the bottom as well, as you can see. But I'm talking a very negligible amount. If we talk about per 100 grams, which would be 8 chocolates out of the 16 here or the 12 here. If we have a look at them side by side, 100 grams has, 17 less calories in, very slightly less fat, slightly less saturates, slightly less sugar and salt. And in addition to that, it makes up for it with slightly more protein and slightly more fiber, which can't necessarily be a bad thing. So these are the ones I'm interested to try. But we've got to do the sort of taste test comparison first. And just to make sure that we're being scientific, I've of course got to remind myself what these taste like, haven't I? That's my excuse for having Ferrero Rocher for breakfast. Let's get both of these open off camera so I don't deafen you all. We'll be back in a moment to do a side by side and give both of them a test. I really hope I do like these ones as much, because certainly save me a bit of money in the future. Here we go then. Slightly less fancy packaging on the Aldi front. There's no doubt about that. We've got silver instead of gold. We've not got the extra little holder at the bottom. So it is just an open bit there, which could easily be pulled apart. But it's not a bad presentation. They are set out quite nicely in a tray. Once you open the box, they've got a nice little tray, individually packed, individually wrapped. But there is one problem that I've hit as soon as I open them. Ferrero Rocher, you get a really sweet smell. So it has the nuttiness, but you can also smell the sweetness in the chocolate. And they're really nice. However, these, when you open the pack, particularly because there's 12 of them there together, and they are in a little plastic pack, smells really strongly of just roasted nut. And to be honest, it's not a massively good smell. So that's the bit that's concerning me so far. Smells a lot nuttier, not really getting the sweetness or the chocolate from the smell, but that might be why they're slightly more healthy or slightly less unhealthy. Now, both chocolates 12.5 grams. If we take the bottom off this Ferrero one and we just get them in terms of size, there is literally next to no difference. Maybe this one's slightly bigger, but I'd imagine it's got probably a bit more of a nutty texture on the outside. So we're going to give the Ferrero a go first, just as our control test. And let's make sure they're as good as we remember. What a breakfast this is turning into. Let's give this one a go. They have not got any worse since I last had one, and I have gone a couple of weeks without one now. But let's go and move on to the Audi one, because I'm going to do a quick palate cleanser as well. The smell of this is really concerning me a bit, but let's see what it looks like first. We all know what the outside of a Ferrero looks like. And yeah, it's the immediate change we expected, which, to be fair, it's still got quite a lot of that texture, but it has got one side where there's maybe not so much. There's these weird little chocolate painted lines on, I'm guessing to avoid a copyright problem, but still, it looks pretty good, particularly from that side. You would say maybe you could fool them into thinking that's a Ferrero Rocher. The smell's not doing it for me. It smells really savoury. That's the problem. I'm not sure I'm going to like this based on what I can smell so far, but we've got to give it a taste. We're going to be fair here. Please, 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 taste better than you smell. Tell you what it is. I can tell you what it is here. The chocolate, and you've got to give big props to Audi for this. The chocolate bit tastes almost identical. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I can assure you of that. The outside, it's still got the same texture. There's not too much to it, so it's okay. And the little white lines they've drawn on don't really taste of anything. I think they're just literally to avoid a branding issue. There is one problem though. The hazelnut in the middle, it is nowhere near as good. It's not as sweet. It's got a really sort of roasted, savoury taste to it. And that is the only bit that marks it down. The rest of the chocolate, I would say, is comparable to the Ferrero Rocher. But the lack of sweetness in that centrepiece, and the hazelnut, maybe it's a bigger hazelnut piece. Maybe it's just the fact that it's not got as much sugar in, but still, I think that's the big difference for me. They're nice. They're very good. They will satisfy a craving if you've only got an Audi about, or you've only got the budget to get these, but you love Ferrero Rocher. There is no doubt in that. They will satisfy the craving, but they're not quite the same. And it's just that middle bit. When you take the first bite in and you get the outer shell and you get the chocolate, you think, oh my God, this is a Ferrero Rocher. It's just that hazelnut. It's the only little bit that's not quite there. But a lot of props to Audi. It's a fraction of the price. Of course, it is very slightly less unhealthy, and most of the packaging is instantly recyclable in your normal household waste, which is great. Overall, if you were going just on taste alone, you have to give it for this, just for the extra sweetness. However, value for money, quality, and if you just took the hazelnut out the middle and ate the rest, I tell you what, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So you've got to give some credit to Audi for it. But for me, the Ferreros just edge it. If you've tried both before though, let me know what you think. Maybe you find the Ferreros too sweet and they'll be better for you. I don't know. If you don't really like ultra sweet chocolate and that's your problem with the main product, then maybe the Audi one is going to be perfect. But if you did enjoy this video, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on for more from this channel over the coming days. We'll be moving back to the savoury world tomorrow, so make sure that you come and check that one out too. They're a little bit outdated, they're festive themed ones, but I'm still looking forward to trying them. In the meantime though, do check out HelloFresh the sponsor, link in the description and the eye above. You can also find my other channels too. I'm part of a football podcast and I've got a gaming channel, both of which are doing well. Thank you very much for your support with those. But I'll see you back tomorrow on Coady's Kitchen as we get through all of our festive treats.